Hey, hi, what's up? I don't know if you've seen this story yet from Vice, but we're just gonna go through it really quick because it is freaking wild and ridiculous and kind of funny. I'm just gonna tell you ahead of time, this really is not a video for kids. So Vice said, the 25 worst items pulled from people's butts in 2025, according to the US government. So apparently the US government has been taking a running tally of people who show up to the emergency room needing to have things removed from their derriers. So it says the Consumer Product Safety Commission maintains the National Electronic Injury Surveillance System, a massive anonymous database that tracks why Americans show up to the ER. That includes cases where someone arrives sheepish, uncomfortable, and very aware that gravity is not a valid explanation. Every year, doctors log what they find, and every year the list gets longer. It also says that a study in the American Journal of Emergency Medicine estimated nearly 39,000 hospital visits per year related to rectal foreign bodies, with most patients being middle-aged and male. I'm gonna stop you there. We shouldn't be putting things up our butts that were not intended for that purpose, okay? Especially if they don't have like a flared base where you'll be able to easily remove said object from your orifices. Let's just leave our butts and other people's butts alone. Now, I am not gonna kink shame, okay? If you were expecting me to kink shame, that is not me. There are ways to go about meeting that fetish or meeting that kink without causing yourself an emergency room visit. And I also want to just make a note that this is a US database. We don't have socialized healthcare here, okay? If you so much as breathe in a 2-mile radius of a hospital, you're gonna get a $5,000 bill. I would just suggest that you avoid sticking things up your butt that are gonna require surgical visits. But let's go ahead and go over this list really quick. Here's that 25 things. Somebody stuck a full bottle of shampoo up there, and this was listed twice. One of the people blamed it on boredom. I've never been that bored. In the age of technology, how are you bored? How are you so bored that you're sticking full bottles of shampoo? We're gonna stop there. Then we've got a baseball, and that was documented with the explanation to see what it felt like. I'm gonna need you to hit up Adam and Eve and get you something round off the website that can be easily removed. This ain't it, friend. This ain't it. Someone put a corn cob holder up there. This thing, that's what, okay. Somebody put a turkey baster up there. I mean, at least these things are phallic, so it makes sense, but it still also does not make sense because again, I don't think it costs that much, and I still think it's gonna cost you, it is definitely gonna cost you way less to just get something that was intended for this purpose and use it for that purpose than it would for you to go to the hospital, because now the thing is stuck and you need professional assistance. Somebody put a wine stopper up there. Somebody took a plastic cleanser bottle filled with liquid. What kind of liquid? Was it the cleansing liquid? I guess it doesn't really matter, but I feel like, what if it bursts open? Are you about to get some kind of toxicity or poisoning? I mean, let's really think these things through. And that's the same thing for the shampoo. I didn't really think about that, but somebody put eyeglasses up there. What were you trying to see? Why would you put eyeglasses up there? Okay, I'm gonna pull it back. A rock, 2 pencils. I really hope they weren't sharpened, because I could see that being a very big problem. A flashlight, a battery powered light. So I'm guessing this is different from a flashlight because I feel like they would have just said flashlight ×2. So anyway, they put a battery powered light up there. A film canister. People, where are you finding a film can? Hold on. I'm not a photographer, and I'm sure there's still people who do it the old fashioned way instead of digital photography. So I'm sure you can still find film canisters, but golly, I feel like in this day and age when everybody's taking digital pictures, it would probably be hard to come by a film canister. And yet you managed to not only retrieve a film canister, but shove it up your butt. That's weird, bro. A rectangular travel toothbrush, a dog chew toy. If you give that shit back to your dog, you're not a good person. I'm just gonna go ahead and outright say it. I don't know if the hospital returns these things following the procedure to have them removed, but if this person did that and then turned around and gave it back to the dog, I don't even care if you watch that shit with bleed. Don't do that. Uncooked pasta. You had to have that surgically removed. How big is the pasta? That's weird. weird. Somebody put an egg. I don't know why I didn't see that coming. But then what if it cracked? Then you just got, okay. Somebody put marbles. Bruh. A sand. How did you get a whole fucking sandal? How did you get a whole sandal up there? How? Why? A doorknob? Beard clippers wrapped in plastic, cited as constipation relief. Explain. How? How is it relieving your constipation? Like, don't they have Miralax, castor oil? You could even like call your doctor and be like, hey, I'm having issues. Can you like put in a prescription? They'll even put in a prescription for a medication to help you relieve this problem. But instead of you going the conventional route to fix the issue, you could have even got some of that Activia yogurt, bruh. You decided it would be a better idea to wrap a pair of beard clippers up in some plastic and just twirl it around, I guess, like a light bulb. Oh my gosh, inserted glass side first. That is terrifying. I cannot even imagine what was going through your head when you did that, because literally I have like a couple of cups that I received as gifts this last year or two. Please ignore my broken nail. I have a couple of cups that I received as gifts this last year or two where it comes with like a glass straw, and I won't even use the straw because I am terrified that it's gonna like partially crack and I'm gonna get a shard of glass in my throat. So I won't fucking use it. And meanwhile, there's people out here literally stuffing light bulbs up there. Like, all you would have to do is give it a good clench. All you would have to do is like, all you have to do is clench the wrong way, sit the wrong way, accidentally back into a door frame with the bulb partially outside, and boom, now you've got a bunch of fractured glass in your rear end. I need people to make better decisions. In 2026, we're gonna make better decisions, guys. I need Vice not to come out with another list with anything stranger than what is happening here. I need this not to be happening. I need y'all to make better decisions. There are multiple websites out there where you can get toys. You don't have to take it this far. Somebody else did a plastic coat hanger altered so the person could drive to the ER. Somebody used a corncob style pipe. And lastly, a thermos, which was discovered using police body scan. Again, I'm not kink shaming. I don't want you to feel like I'm picking on you, okay? But I'm just saying, if you have to engage in these activities to make yourself feel good, you should do it with objects that are not gonna cause you a hospital visit. Like, let's just make better decisions in 2026 and going forward. And for real, that's really the end. Oh, hold up. There was a viral TikTok from an emergency physician named Kenji Oyasu. Well, we're just gonna go ahead and play it here at the end of the video. Let's see what he has to say.
I don't know what it is, but whenever I tell people I'm an emergency room doctor, they always ask me two things. What is the sickest thing you've ever seen? And what's the weirdest thing you've ever pulled out someone's butt?
I'm also curious.
I'd say one of the most memorable ones was a guy came in whose complaint was personal problems, which I always know is going to be usually butt stuff.
He said personal problems are usually butt stuff.
I go in to see him, and he says that he and his girlfriend got a little crazy last night, or maybe 2 days ago, put something up there.
Not the girlfriend is engaged in the debauchery.
You know what? No judgment. I get it. This was a Yankee Candle. And I'm not talking about just the little baby one. I'm talking about the desktop jar.
Yankee Candle. It was a candle. Okay. I know y'all ain't light that shit up afterwards. Like, I just know.
And not just the top, but the whole damn thing. So I stopped asking questions like, how'd you get it up there? Or what were you thinking? Because that's not important. The question now becomes, how do you get it out? And really, for things that are really big, you can't just reach up there and grab them.
You can't just reach up there and grab them, y'all. Stop doing crazy stuff.
And pull them out, because the suction causes a vacuum to pull it back in. So really, the treatment is to paralyze them in the operating room with anesthesia, like you would for an operation, although you don't operate on them. But it requires critical care, anesthesia, intubation, putting them on a ventilator. You give them medication that relaxes every muscle in their body so you can go up and grab it.
that medical bill is about to be off the fucking chart. He said sedate them. He said buddy. And we're gonna look at the comments. Some more people have some stuff to say. We actually have Yankee Candle US. Their TikTok said, I'm speechless. That's freaking hilarious, bro. Even the candle company is like, why? Why would you put that there, bro? Dr. Mo, NPN educator, says, I had a patient with a pickle jar once. Again, why are we putting glass up there? Oh my gosh, she said it shattered. She said, I had a patient with a pickle jar once which shattered and was full of pickles. Oh my God, that had to burn in every sense of the word, because now you've got glass up there and you've got the vinegar brine from the pickles and you've got pickles themselves. And again, how are you getting these things up there? How? Like, I know that took some lube. Like, nobody's taking an entire pickle jar up the butt without lube. So you really had to think that shit through, literally. Somebody said, I have a question. Did he walk in like this? And somebody said, there was no girlfriend. Guaranteed. What sense of Yankee Candle was it? Is that really your question? It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it's gonna smell like straight cheeks. How is he walking? As an autopsy tech, I get asked the same two questions. Anyway, an entire plunger handle. Autopsy tech. So that person clearly did not make it. That's the other thing. This is dangerous on so many levels. This person didn't make it out of the situation alive. So that's really something to think about if you're thinking about doing that. Just don't do it. He said it was up there for 2 days. How do you figure? Somebody said, I make candles and I have never once considered that one of my candles could end up in such a dark place, literally. Oh man. Did you let him keep the candles? I wonder if the doctor answered this. Technically, it's still his candle. They expensive. Somebody said the dog should fund a museum that exhibits the weirdest stuff they found somewhere. Somebody said the healthcare team after. No, stop. Y'all are a fucking mess. I cannot. Me looking my Yankee Candle straight in the eyes during this whole video. How are people accomplishing these maneuvers? Do not ask that question, because somebody will try to answer it and somebody is gonna get ideas. Please don't give these people any more ideas. Please stop continuously putting burdens on our healthcare system. That is fucking hilarious. Somebody said the guy realizes the doctor is talking about him. Look at this face. Stop. Somebody asking the same question I freaking asked. Why? Why don't these people just buy toys instead of glass jars? That's my question, Jay. Why? Why? It's cheaper. I promise you it's cheaper. I promise you, even if it's a $60 toy, it is still cheaper than the medical bill you're about to fucking get if you gotta show up to the fucking hospital because you got a jar stuck up your booty. Like, let's get it together, y'all. Anyway, that's the end of the video. I'm not gonna go through any more of this. Y'all are really fucking wilding out here. But anyway, if you want more weird news stories or just weird shit people did, and I'm gonna pull it up and we're gonna talk about it, stick around. That's all I gotta say. Hit the subscribe button and I will see you beautiful weirdos later. Bye.